Morning. We're on the 24th of May and it's a Friday. Gonna swing around. Let's have a little look, see if I can do this. Oh, okay. Make control. There you go. Must have updated. I just got to flip the screen rather than a button. That house is kind of built up on this edge before it becomes available again. I would have thought all these houses would have had asbestos in, but obviously not. And today is it's a warm day, to be honest with you. There's no wind, high cloud, absolutely nothing going on out there. So what we're going to talk about today, probably something that upsets people or causes riots or whatever, and that's religion. It seems to be the centre of all wars, religion, and there's no reason, because if you look at any religion, we come down to one God, whether you call them Allah or Abraham or Zeus, it all comes down to one God. So it's a bit like, calling your neighbour Fred all the time, and his actual name is David. It doesn't really matter, he's still your neighbour and he's still as friendly, and you wonder why wars happen. So what we're talking about, well, the scientists are still trying to find out how things started, and it's a sort of thing that you cannot fathom in your brain, because they are now thinking of multi-universes. Well, if you have a multi-universe that goes on forever and ever and ever, you're still going to wonder how it all started. And that's the big issue we have. And no matter how you want to start the universe, we end up with the ultimate question: how did it begin? The thing is that if you look at the micro universe, you go through a very powerful microscope, you'll actually see the universe. You've got the atoms and the nuclei spinning around and everything else, which is the same as the sun and the planets moving around. So what you see in the micro world is what you see up there in space. It's just one thing that came to me, it's how the world works. And if you went, yes, in the Big Bang didn't happen, but in a dream I had, I think it did, because no matter how you look at the world, you've always got a negative and a positive. And when there's nothing in the atmosphere, you still get a negative and positive. Slightly different. I think that a long time ago, we had these particles. They're a bit like droplets of water in the sea, where lots of droplets make up the ocean. And the droplets are plus and minus entities. And I think really back in the start, something happened where the negative and the positive linked, and that's where you get the kaboom, and it created our universe. You know, put that on there. It connects to the universe and created our universe. And then because of the massive heats, that causes changes in the atomic structure of the universe, which obviously produces, say, the first suns, etc., or the first rock, shall I say, that were created from this massive explosion. And of course, when the rocks are created, they're spinning, and as things start to cool down in that very vicious environment, the rocks aren't produced anymore because it's a different temperature. So you start to get gases, or that sort of thing, and they got attracted to the hot rocks. But the rocks are red hot, so when the gases actually hit the rocks, they explode into flame, causing the first suns. And this was a dream I had when asked on a paranormal investigator how things were working. And that's what came back, to be honest. Doggies. He's got good ears, so you can hear me walking. So yeah, we've got, on a paranormal investigator, I asked these questions, like, is there a heaven and is there a hell? And the answer came back, yes. There's a heaven, or a tranquility, and there's the other side of things, hell, which is purgatory. And good people go to the heaven, and the bad people go to purgatory. And in hell, they will relive what they've done wrong, and eventually will learn how to be correct in life. Oh, that's what was told to me by Spirit's World. As for a God, well, that's another issue altogether. Because God's a person that man made. It means goodness. And I'm not saying there's not a God. It's just I think there's a God that he's in a place that a bit like the king. He's in a palace or whatever, and he doesn't give a damn about us. And that's the end of that one, I mean, don't get me wrong. Paranormal experiences, I've heard a demon speak, and I've heard I've heard a demon speak, and I've heard St. Michael speak, and that's with me only as using the equipment. So, I've actually understand the fact that there's something on the other side. And this is really a classroom for us to learn out what we did wrong. I mean, I probably did wrong because on one of my investigations, I was told I'm actually doing I was a Saxon or something, and invaded this country, and I was, pillaging the places and what have you. And I probably did wrong, killing people and everything else, so I ended up in purgatory. Well, on that logic, is this hell where I'm learning the right from wrong? I don't know. Anyway, we're at 11 minutes. It's a lovely day, and I'm gonna take a wander back home. Sorry for the long talk and the scenery, but it is a fabulous day. I'll catch you later. Bye bye.